Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. Jai Opetaia rather predictably retains his IBF cruiserweight title. He knocks out Claudio Squeo of Italy in 5 rounds. The end came with Squeo trapped in a corner. Opetaia, looking much the bigger man, landed a big right hand. Jai is a southpaw, but it was a right hook. Caught Squeo right on the corner of the jaw. You could see it in the replays. And probably broke his jaw because Squeo took a knee, went down on one knee, and immediately was holding his jaw and didn't bother beating the count. I think he knew where he was. He was like, no, something's gone wrong here. And if he's got a broken jaw, I've got no problem with people calling it a day. I mean, the guy was completely outgunned. He was listed as number 14 in the IBF rankings. He just shouldn't have been in there with Opetaia. And I don't mean that disrespectfully, because the man went, halfway across the world to fight one of boxing's big killers in his own backyard. So let's give him some props. But, he came in with 17 wins. He's 34 years old, so he ain't going to turn down a big paycheck and a chance to fight for the world title. He had 9 KOs in the 17 wins. He tried his best, but it was complete one-way traffic. I mean, Jai looked, like a bloody Adonis compared to this guy. This guy's listed at, I think, 5'10", Squeo. Opetaia, I think, is about 6'2", so he looked more than 4 inches taller. And he looked broader. He looked, he just looked the part. I mean, the guy's in his prime. He's 29 years of age, Opetaia. And Squeo looked, like a far more squat, smaller cruiserweight. Probably couldn't get down to light heavy, but yeah, a small cruiserweight against a big one, especially when the talent difference is so vast. There's only one result, isn't there? And Opetaia, I mean, I really love watching the guy. He's incredibly talented, fights very aggressively, very entertaining to watch, constantly moves forward, quite a sort of loose style or a languid style, moves his feet very well, always holds his shape, but his hands are, you look at it and you think, there's a few gaps there. You've got to take advantage of it, though. In the first round, he was just moving around. He was actually skipping around the ring on occasions as Squeo sort of, trundled forward, trying to be all proactive. And he just had a look, I think, at Squeo in the first round. Second round, he started to let his hands go a little bit more, started to hold his feet a bit more. Squeo was fine with that because it meant he didn't have to chase Jai, and Squeo landed a couple of overhand rights on separate occasions, in different rounds that did catch Jai, didn't bother him. But Jai, by the third round, Jai was letting his hands go and going through the gears, gradually going through the gears. You could tell he started off in first gear. And Squeo was, holding his own against Jai in first gear. But once Jai started to go second gear, third gear, as the rounds progressed, it was startlingly noticeable that Squeo was suddenly under the cosh and couldn't really do anything against this, taller, far more talented southpaw. Squeo's orthodox fighter. I'd never faced anyone even approaching Opetaia's capability. So I suppose the writing was on the wall by third round, certainly. You do hope that one of these unknown fighters is going to, show you something, and maybe they're a hidden gem and they get in there and they maybe go the distance, for example, or give the other guy something to think about. But no, the gulf in class was absolutely evident. And then by the fourth round, Squeo was getting pretty much bullied. Opetaia was trapping him on the ropes in corners. Squeo was sort of trying to feint his way out and slip and slide. But Opetaia's footwork is exemplary. He, like I say, he always holds his shape. He hits hard with either hand. He's a very precise puncher. There isn't much that misses. He doesn't throw punches just for the sake of it. He's a good punch picker. He knows what to fire when. He doesn't waste anything. And as a result, it doesn't waste a lot of energy. The only, I mean, if you want to be really, really critical, you could say that maybe because he's so aggressive and offensive-minded, he does leave himself open slightly to a possible counter, or, you know, if he was in, let's say he was in against a big cruiser. We're all going to mention Zurdo Ramirez, aren't we? But yeah, Ramirez would give him something to think about, just on the physicality level. And that's the fight he wants next, you know. I mean, the fifth round, Jai lowered the boom, and it was kind of like, well, that was inevitable, wasn't it? There was no way Squeo was going to go the distance. The fact that he lasted to the fifth round doesn't shame him. He just got beaten by a better man. He got beaten up by a better man. And I hope his jaw ain't broken, but it looks like it might be, because the replay showed that the punch did land right in the corner, vulnerable part, you know. And Squeo was, I mean, he got up afterwards. He was holding his jaw and the corner having a look at it. But yeah, he earned his money the hard way, as you would expect against Jai Opetaia. So Zurdo Ramirez is the intended target. Opetaia and his manager, Mick Francis, I think his manager's name is. They spoke about Zurdo. Eddie Hearn is involved, I think, with Opetaia. He's involved in negotiations. I mean, it's got to happen, really. Opetaia is the Ring Magazine, as well as the IBF champ, he's the Ring Magazine's champ. So, if as he rightly said, you can't call yourself the best cruiserweight in the world while I'm around. I agree with that. And Zurdo would probably say, well, I say the same thing. You can't call yourself the best, I'm here. Well, okay, get together and fight then. That's the logical thing to do. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, by the end of the year, what are we in now? June already, isn't it? So time flies. I would hope they could get it done October, maybe. Zurdo's got a fight coming up, but he gets it out of the way. Okay, maybe November. But Turki Al-Sheikh is going to be involved as well. Opetaia has been on Riyadh cards previously. He did 3 in a row, actually. Ellis Zorro, Bradis rematch, and Jack Massey. So he's on good terms with Turki Al-Sheikh, as are his team. You would think that the Ramirez fight, it's perfectly doable. If you dangle enough carrots, and by carrots I of course mean bundles of notes, in front of someone's nose, they'll roll over and play dead, won't they? Or in this case, come alive maybe. So I expect that fight to occur at some point. Just hope it's this year. We don't want it dragging on and on and on like a lot of these, bloody things that, a lot of these fights that never materialise for whatever reason. So fingers crossed and toes crossed and everything else crossed. All right. What did you think of this fight? Kind of predictable, wasn't it? Not really surprising. But if you've got anything to say, leave it in the comments. I'll have a read. Thank you very much for your time. Please hit the like button on the video if you liked it. And also subscribe to the channel if you're new. I always appreciate your time. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. You Aussies have got yourself a good fighter here. A very good fighter. More to come, we hope. I'll catch you later. Bye for now.